Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday so far. And yeah, I am Yolanda. I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. And today we got a great special guest on. I really do appreciate her coming on right now and stuff. So let's bring on Keyoka. How you doing, girl? Hello.
Hi. Hi. How are you?
What's going on? How you doing? Where you
I'm
at? You in
good.
Dallas, right?
I'm in Dallas. Yeehaw.
Okay, okay. And so we have conversations to be had today and stuff. But before we get started, I just wanted to say, please do make sure that you like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll get like updates or get notifications when I'm going live or posting something or just want to say boo. And yeah, this is really great. How's your new year been going so far? Like,
It's been great.
okay.
It's been
So,
wonderful. I think I'm trying to remember what it is. My sister is into astrology, and I think she said that like 2025 has a lot of fire energy. And so like this is a great year to set intentions, set goals, and be aggressive about what you want to achieve in your life. Um, I think if you let it though, the fire energy in 2025 could be, you could burn yourself up with it or you could take it to fuel your passion. So I'm taking it and fueling my passions.
I
So
like that. Oh, I
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just never focus in on what you need, and like put
We locked
everything into
in.
you. Yeah. Oh, I
Locked
like
in.
that.
Heads down, locked in. Going after it.
Well, let's go over here. I like how you always say it's like y'all come in and y'all make sure you say your hellos, and respectfully, you like we do in families. Like you don't walk into the house and not say hello. I like how you always say that.
Exactly. Exactly. Black folk, we speak when we come into the room. Drop down in the comment section and tell us hi. Like the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel.
What
Okay.
she said. Okay. What she said. So let me just go
Cheers.
ahead. Oh, I got my water. Yeah, I got my big thing of water. Ah, yeah. Y'all don't want to see me trying to be like sipping on nothing and stuff and trying to do a whole live because I will be. If you think I go squirrel and be talking about random things, I really will be. Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah.
No,
My
I
focus will
would.
be like, yeah, my focus will be out the window. So
I
I'm gonna
had
sip
I
my
had
water and keep
Katrina.
it cool.
I had Katrina on my channel, and she's in Malaysia right now. And like, I was drinking through the interview, and it ended up being a 2 hour long interview. By the end of it, I was like, just slovenly drunk on the live. But
And I'm thinking the thing is, I think I'm cool. I'm thinking like, oh, this is lively, and we're just good. And later on, like if I go back and watch it, I think one time that's happened, maybe twice. I think twice I've like either been interviewed or I was interviewing, and I was like, I go back and look at it, and I was like, you were tipsy, and you didn't even know it. Okay.
yes, yeah, been there.
Anyways, hey, Christine. Good evening. Christine's here at Bayesian Alpha. She's living here in Zaragoza. Yes. So we both up late. Okay. So, and then we have Cherry PhD. I like that. Cheryl P. I said Cherry. Cheryl PhD. Okay. Hello. How you doing? The luxury bucket list. Thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Please do make sure that you say hello in the comments when you come in. So you know how I like to start off and just like get a little bit of tidbit of information about what's going on in your world. So that's why I named this section "What's Going On in Your World." What's going on in my world? So please do. Keyoka, tell us, what have you been up to lately? Tell us like just, a little tidbit of what the little before we go deep. What's going on in your world?
What is going on in my world? So obviously I'm growing my channel, the Awkward Black Nomad. I have a lot of amazing, phenomenal women come onto the channel, talk about their experiences living abroad. Um, oh, the Read and Wonder book club, everybody. So I started a book club, if you want to join, I'll put it somewhere, but it's a Facebook group. It's for free. We choose a book every month to read, and then
Okay.
there's a live on my channel or Yvonne McBride's channel. And basically, like, just chat. We have girl chat. So even if you don't read the book, people drop in just to listen to us tell our business and talk about how we
Right.
relate to the book. So
Well, your information is in the description stuff, but drop that specific link in the private chat and I can post it in the comments
yeah,
also. Please do
perfect.
when you
Yeah,
get a chance.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. And so, oh wow, okay. Yes, well, yes, I'll be dropping that information in there. What's going on in my world? I am I am learning about YouTube little by little. Like I didn't know how to go in and get rid of my long ass introductions. Like when I'm live, and it's like that music is playing for a little while. I didn't realize that I can actually go in and just in YouTube and just clip part of it so it's not like 30 seconds long. And so
I'm
I've
speechless.
actually, huh?
Speechless. Continue,
Oh, okay.
but I'm judging.
I didn't know. And so I just thought I had to, in my mind, I thought I was going to have to like download the video, go into my Camtasia, whatever, do the edits, and then repost it. And it was like, oh no, you can actually just go into YouTube and just trim off that little, like and it just does it. And oh my goodness. So I spent like Friday night, party girl. Yeah, that's what I spent doing Friday night, going in and just clipping down the intro for all my lives and stuff. So it wasn't 30 seconds of just a picture and music before I started talking. So yeah.
That's good. That's cool. I like your theme music when you start the videos. That's cool.
Oh yeah. So then I still use it and I use it for my clips and everything. And it's like royalty free. I mean, I got it from the YouTube music source and everything. So I've just been using it forever. I do have the guys, I think it's ammo beats or something like that. Anyways, I have his information down there because he has some pretty cool beats, but I've been addicted to that one like 2 years now. So yeah, it's like I don't have to put his information in there, their information in there, but I do just because I use it for everything now.
Yeah,
So,
give
so
them a shout out.
yes, definitely, definitely. But yeah, that's what's going on in my world. Just sitting at home and just getting technologically advanced with YouTube. Okay, so I'm proud of myself for that.
How do you
This
do?
is
When?
yes, it's the thing is there's so much technology that's out there and different platforms and everything, and you hear about all these other platforms, and I'm like, oh, it's just too much. It's like I barely have a handle on the stuff that I do already or the platforms that I use already. So, I'm not gonna do like YouTube Academy, although I probably should, but it's just like just to still pick up on some little things about how to go back and fix stuff and not have to go back and download and then create and then upload and mess up the algorithms and all that stuff. So I'm proud of myself. This
When?
is definitely. So the other thing I wanted to ask, I like to ask at the beginning of the show is, what are you doing to locate your cozy? How are you locating your cozy? And that's just all about what are you doing? What have you done lately that has been something that's just for you, that has made you happy, that is something that has brought you joy, something that's brought you some peace, something that's just made you smile, not for somebody else, for you. And so yeah, I'm like, for you.
But I'm fortunate enough that all of what I do is for me. I
It's
don't
just like
have
it's all
any
about me, always.
all about me. Sometimes it's about my dogs, but mostly just about me. I joined this gym. It's called Spenga. Have you heard of it? Like, it's
Oh
in
yes, I've
Texas.
heard
Have
of
you heard
Spangle.
about this?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yes.
it's spin, strength, and yoga, my favorite things. And it's like, I think 45 to 55 minutes, something like that, classes that are broken down, and you kind of just get a little bit of everything. So that's how I start my morning. I wake up at 5:30, I go knock the class out, and then I'm just like refreshed and ready to start the day.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I also drink like 100 ounces of water. So this is water number two. Right. It's so important to stay hydrated. Everybody watching this video, You need a bottle of water. I'm sure you do. Nobody is drinking enough water.
I literally, when I moved to Spain, this is one of the things that I did bring from Texas, because I mean, in my year and a half of just pet sitting around Texas and around different areas, well, stateside, I had this. I think I got it from like Ross for like, I think it was maybe $15 or $20 and stuff. But yeah, I brought this from Texas. Yes, so my water. Okay.
Yes, stay hydrated. Okay.
So, the other thing that, well, I'll tell you what, I don't have any like big, I guess, technically locating cozies, but then again, yes, I did, because I am very proud of myself, and it's something pretty big that I have done, and that is that, and I'm about to put it on here. I did go ahead and announce that we're having a meetup in April. We're having a meetup in April. I'm really excited about it. It's posted as an event in Exodus Summit. It is also posted within my Facebook group, Black in Zaragoza. So if you wish to join and you want to get more information about that upcoming event, yes, please do. Check it out. I'm putting the information on here right now. And if you're in the Exodus Summit community, then you can, if you're thinking about it, you're not sure yet, just put maybe on there and stuff. But April 13th to the 19th. So it's going to be 3 days in Madrid and 3 days in Zaragoza. And the great thing is there's going to be like a nice big kickoff. I'm collaborating with another Facebook group here in Spain, in Madrid. Y'all might know. I'm not saying anything official yet until Wednesday. But yeah, we're planning a nice big event that Sunday. And so I'm really, really excited about this. Yes. Big goals. Big goals.
That's
So,
exciting.
yeah, I did a meetup here, where I had like throughout that time, I think there was like maybe 8 women that came, and it was really great. And I learned a lot about, expectations and how to actually put on, because I've been doing it in Texas, back in Texas, it was like, okay, this is how we do it. But to have it more than just a 1 day thing is different. And
Mm,
so, yeah, just implementing this and learning from the last time and knowing how I want to do it this time versus getting ready for actually, in June, I'm planning something that's gonna be an all-inclusive event besides plane tickets, that I'll be offering. But for the one that's coming up in April, this is a meetup for Black women to come and just check out Spain.
yeah.
Whether you want to consider moving here or you just want to come and get away from some of the horrors and atrocities that are happening in other parts of the US. Okay. Whatever it is. Yeah. Check it out either on Exodus Summit. The event is posted in Exodus Summit. And it's also posted in Black in Zaragoza. So I'm excited about that. So yes, that's locating my cozy. Yes, I'm taking that. That's how I'm locating my cozy. Okay.
I love that. And are you doing events during the meetup? Like, are you taking people on tours, doing like,
Yes. And so, again, it's still a work in progress. It's because I was like, okay, because it's one of those things where I was like, I don't know if I want to do it yet. I don't know. And I was like, you know what? Here's how you can make it easier, but still just as fun. And so during that time, there's going to be there's going to be a daily, something to do with group wise each day. So like Sunday through Tuesday, there's going to be something to do in Madrid group wise. And then also I'm going to have a list of other things that you can do individually. And if somebody else wants to do do their own thing or form another subgroup that wants to do something, that's fine. So it won't just be like, well, you only see us during this time, but I'm going to curate a daily event, at a daily event, blah. And then Wednesday is going to be the down day so that you'll have time to get to Zaragoza and come and hang out there for a couple of days instead of so it's going to be a lazy, enjoyable, like not rushed. So
yeah.
you'll be able to really experience it. So I'm excited about that. But yeah. And then, yeah, and come in June, I'm planning on one that's definitely a very curated experience that with like 6 people tops. It's like, I don't want like a whole big group. Okay, my brain can't handle it. Okay. For the June one. So anyways, yeah, my mind is constantly working. So
That's
before we get
amazing.
started, let's go in the comments and see what some people is saying. So let me see. Let me get rid of this banner here. Oh my goodness. And it's like, again, it's midnight. It's past midnight. And I know you like, girl, why are you up? I
Oh,
will be up now.
I wouldn't be going live on midnight if I was around them parts. Y'all. In fact, if I start traveling again, the people may never see me. People may never see me.
The luxury bucks list says it's after midnight here, and I'm still recording. Reconciling with U.S. and European time zones. I've been drinking more wine than water.
Good. I'm
Where are
sure it
you
was
at
good wine.
again? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's one of the things I want to do during the meetup. Also, is definitely they have some like either bodegas that have the wine tastings or going to a vineyard for a wine tasting. But yes.
Yeah.
And the luxury bag. She says, "Wait, what did you say about June and okay, June in Spain? So there's a meetup in April. Black women, come on. There's a meetup in April that it's going to be. I'm going to be collaborating with another Facebook group to have actually a really great kickoff on that Sunday, April 13th. And then, so that's one thing. But then the other thing that I'm curating is an actual experience in Spain for in June, and that's different. That's not just a meetup. That's me actually creating an experience for you to enjoy, so you can really like look at me doing my happy dance, enjoy Zaragoza, and really learn to appreciate it and learn great things about it. So yes, that's what I got going on in my brain somewhere. He says, yes, that looks like my glass. She said, I guess your wine glass looks like her glass.
Cheers.
That is hilarious. So Keyoka, we know you, but let's act like we all brand new.
Do
Tell us
we?
about you. Yes. Yeah.
About
What's your
me?
elevator pitch, girl? Tell us about you.
Oh my gosh, I hate doing this. I'm a writer. I'm a dog mom. I travel solo. My dogs and I have been to 10 countries and counting. I'm a YouTuber. I mentioned my channel earlier, the Awkward Black Nomad. In my professional life, I'm a copywriter. So I work in marketing and I basically write web pages, blog posts. I specialize in SEO, which is search engine optimization. So if you are an entrepreneur, you have a business and you want to get seen on Google, you need to work with an SEO copywriter who can write your web pages so you can show up in Google search engines. Um, I'm 31. I'm a Gemini. I like my wine. I'm trying to be healthier this year.
So you, because okay, I'm just gonna jump into it. How long do you think you're gonna be in Dallas? You think it's gonna be another 6 months, another year? You trying to
Uh,
bust out next month?
So keeping my ear to the streets. Um, I I did a video about this and I have some financial goals for myself that I would like to hit. Since accepting a new position though, that's kind of we'll see. We'll see. I'm hesitant to say a date just because I have a date in my mind, but I don't know how long I'm gonna hold out. I'll say that.
Okay. Okay. Quiet is kept. We'll keep it at that for now. Quiet is kept. This is so okay, so you've been to different countries, and I'm not going to go because I know you have a lot of content about the different places that you've been and stuff. But I will ask right now, in the perfect world, where would you probably be like, if in the perfect world, I would jump where right now?
So, I can't really wife anybody up yet. I don't know who's bae. Um, Me and these countries, we're in the talking stage. I'll jump there for 3 months, take her out on a few dates. But I don't know. I'm not really, it's difficult for me to commit. It's difficult for me to
Mhm.
commit. So just to name one, I can't promise that I'll get there and I won't try to go somewhere else. That's it. I can't. I don't know. I really don't know.
You're friends with
I
benefits
don't have
right now.
any faith. I'm friends with benefits with like at least 5 countries.
Okay.
And then there's still people like I still want to see what else is out there. So there's still countries that I want to go to, and I don't know. I don't know.
I'm still well, because I have an apartment here. I live here in Spain. I have an apartment here in Zaragoza, and I'm very thankful for that. But I'll be watching like some of your stuff, some of your vlogs, and was it Albania? I'm like, maybe I need to go bop over there for a month or two. Just why? Why not? Okay.
Just look. I always tell that to people, like, go take a look. Even if you have a visa, residence, whatever, like go pop in, catch a vibe, you know? At least
Yeah.
just to see if a place is for you, experience the culture.
So I guess that would technically equate for me, like if I'm looking for a one night stand in another country,
I don't know your business.
figuratively speaking. Figuratively speaking.
Just a little summer fling, you know?
Yes, yes. There you
Just a
go.
little.
There you go. So so you are known, Awkward Black Nomad, you're an introvert. What were some of your initial fears when you first started doing your traveling? What were some of the things that crept? And maybe they were like totally unfounded. You're like, girl, okay, yeah, I had that idea in my head. Something was implanted in my head to think this way, but then you came out on the other side. It came out to it's not reality. You got through it. So, what were some of your initial fears?
Well, I travel with my dogs, so I always have some anxiety about getting rejected at the airport, them getting shipped back. Um, and then I think, you know, there's just a lot of social anxiety, right, around being by yourself in public spaces. So for me, it was just the whole shebang. This thought that I would be by myself in a foreign country, like so far away from my family. Um, I was worried about. I don't know. I think I had this fear that I was being irresponsible, that I was somehow giving up a part of my life by choosing to travel for long term. Um, I talk about this on my channel. I quit a job. I broke up with a man. I got rid of my apartment. I put all my stuff in storage. Um, I got rid of my car. So it's a big step. It's a big step. But I was just in a place where I was like, you know what? I don't need any of these things. And I just let them go and I left. And I think there was a part of me that was like, oh my God, I'm making a big decision. I'm ruining my life. I'll never get married. Like people are looking at me like I'm immature. Um, Even now, like my friends are kind of like, girl, when are you gonna buy a house? Like when are you gonna settle down? I don't have answers for y'all. I don't have answers.
It's like
So it's
that's
just this.
not my journey. That's the
mm,
expectation. That's not my journey.
it's not a journey, but also it's like I don't really know what my journey is yet, and I'm giving myself the freedom to figure it out. I think a lot of people are there's so many expectations. People are so led by what they're supposed to be doing, and I've just kind of released myself from that in a way. Like I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do, and at this point I don't really care what that looks like. I'm figuring it out. So I make mistakes. I didn't end up in a few trick bags a couple times, but I got out of it. It's just like a process. Like I'm literally learning. Uh, I'm learning as I go. Even though
Mhm.
I'm 31 now, I feel like that's so liberating to say. Like when you get to your 30s, you don't have everything figured out. You just like figuring it out. So
Wow. So,
that was
so
a
yeah,
long
it's like
answer.
the thing is like because you said something about your concern about being your dogs being rejected, but you've had that happen.
Yeah, I had that happen,
And you
and
worked through it.
yeah, like so that's something I discovered about myself when like traveling. I'm somebody who thinks quick on my feet. I'm somebody who when difficult things happen, I can pivot. I can figure out a way to get out of a situation. And I really never it's almost like you think you can do these things, but you haven't really tested yourself to see it until you're like on your own and there's nobody to call for help. You your own help.
You got to figure it out. You
You have
have
to figure
to.
it out.
Oh, say, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. That wasn't the one I was trying to click on. Just a second. I was clicking on. Oh, here we go. And so she said that happened to me on this trip. She said I got stuck in Charlotte and we had to book another flight. Things happen, but you can't. The thing is, we are ones now, so that we don't, not do something because of a what if.
And
It's like that.
something I've learned too, if the coins stay ready, if you got coins on the ready, you know, you could get out of any situation. Money will get you out of any situation.
Yes. Yes. My emergency credit card is, yeah, that's that.
Period.
Yeah. Might get $2 charged on it a month and everything and stuff. It's if I need it, it's there for me to be
Right.
able to rectify the situation. And so yes, absolutely. I love that. So I'm just going through and looking at what some people are saying here. So freedom on your own terms. I'm working right now, so I have a new setup, guys. Right now, I got this background, and so I'm not at my desk, so I have like two monitors. I have my laptop, and then I have my extra monitor, and I'm trying to move it around with this weird setup, and I'm like, why can't I move my stupid mouse? And yeah, so if I'm looking confused, that's why. Okay. And so with everybody has their personality, do you think, like, how do you think that your personality has like helped you like kind of play into your identity? Like the awkward black nomad, it's like you have that unique personality. So how do you think that as a traveler, how does that play into your identity?
I think my so
Or have you let some of
I
that go? Like whatever that awkwardness that you've identified, like you've overcome and been like, you know what, I'm not as awkward or introverted as I thought I would be when traveling solo.
I 1000% am still awkward. Like 1000% still the
She's
same
like, that ain't going nowhere.
girly. That's still the same girly. And that's the thing, right? It's because like everybody sees me online and they're like, Keyoka, you're not awkward, you're not introverted. And I'm like, but if we met in person though, that's if I first of all, I would have to get outside to even meet you. Is that gonna happen? I don't know. We don't know. We have mood disorders. We don't know. But in my experience, people find my awkwardness kind of endearing. So I'll just be in a foreign country being myself, and people will talk to me. Like people will come up to me if I have a question. I do think it took some time to get the courage to go up to people. Um, and it's like I said, it's a work in progress. So sometimes I am courageous and other times I am not. This past June, I was in London and I've told this story before. I was lost and I wandered around for maybe about 2 hours because I didn't want to ask anybody for help. So that's just what we do with our day. Okay. That's just what we do with our day. We just walk around lost and we don't ask for help sometimes. Or like, there's another story where like I went to see this exhibit in a museum and it was like on a different floor there's a library. So when they were taking my information down, they thought I was a student. So they assumed that I was going to the library and not going to see the exhibit. So I didn't say, "Hey, I'm in the wrong place. I don't want to go to the library." And so I ended up spending like the better part of an evening just in the library reading books. I like to read. It wasn't that bad, but I never saw the exhibit. Like we just adapt. Okay, we adapt.
You're like, so I thought I was going to see the exhibit, but I didn't speak up. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and make the most of it right here now.
Speaking up for yourself is so difficult sometimes. And it comes in waves. So like some days I can advocate for myself really well. Other days,
Okay.
not so much. Like my tolerance for it is like this.
Peaks, well, I call it peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys. Hmm.
Yeah, peaks and valleys. Yeah. It's like I say that about, just advocating for myself sometimes. Well, I was just about to say something and I was like, that's probably not appropriate. Anyways, yeah, in life, in many places and many things and stuff, we go through peaks and valleys. Yeah. And yeah. And the funny thing is, because people think that because I'm quote the extrovert, they think that I'm always like on and I'm always like, girl, no, stuff. It's like I didn't get to I've always been outspoken, well, kind of, I don't know, yeah, outspoken, I guess. So I've always, been like the person that talks to people, but I have not always been the one that actually stuck up for myself. And there's a difference. So you can be outgoing and be everybody's biggest cheerleader and still not always actually speak for yourself when you're supposed to. And I still catch myself sometimes getting flustered. Like if I'm in a situation where I do have to advocate or speak for myself or tell somebody, no, you wrong, I still sometimes have a hard time eloquently saying what I need to say without maybe getting, start stuttering or get kind of flustered or whatever and stuff. So it still happens. Just because you're an extrovert doesn't mean that you always have that you're greatly nuanced in speaking and telling somebody to F off in the most eloquent way or whatever. Just standing up for yourself in some way. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go over here and sit down and just be quiet. And then later on you'll be like, why didn't I say that? Okay. You have a whole list of comebacks or whatever that just did not come out your mouth at the time. And so, yeah.
That comes
So,
with the experience of just being a woman too, right? So like I
mhm,
think a lot of it is being a woman, being a black woman in particular, always being conscious of how you're perceived. Um,
absolutely.
I think for me at least, I was raised by like a coven of women. There were men around. I have male family members, but like the people
Mhm.
who were most impactful were women. And I was always it was just reinforced in me to be ladylike. Keyoka, we don't raise our voice. We don't we sit properly, we sit with our back straight. Like just this idea about what it means to be a woman has always kind of been restrictive in a way, even though it was presented to me by other women. So I think for many people, the journey in life is sort of like to become more of yourself as time goes on, to get more comfortable with being yourself. And I feel like at least at my age now, I'm cognizant of it, and it's something I'm like actively trying to get better at, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, but it's such a great thing because like my last live that I did, I was talking about one of the questions. I don't know if it was a Q&A or whatever, but it was like, why in your 50s, why start this challenge or this change now in your 50s? And I was like, why the hell not? If Why the hell not in your 30s? Why the hell not in your 20s? I mean, as long as you have the financial resources and and you are responsible enough to sit down and really look at the big picture as far as what you're going to be able to do. Because saying responsible and have financial means does not mean that you have to have $25,000 in the bank to go and do what you want to do. That's not what I'm saying. But that freedom at 50 can come earlier. That freedom, this peace of mind that I got now, it could have come earlier. I hadn't grown into myself at that point to know that I deserved better, that I deserved more out of life, that I should actually go for more out of life. I was in my 40s before I went to college. So there's like layers and layers of life experiences that were being peeled back and I was coming into my own. I'm happy and I'm so thankful that like you are meeting knowing you, young lady that has come to some great realizations way ahead of her time. My daughter way earlier than I ever did. My youngest daughter, she was 27, 26 when she moved to Spain and was only supposed to be gone for, what I thought a year, and now she got a whole life here. So it's it's never too late unless you're not breathing. Okay, unless you have been called home, yeah, it's never too late, and that is that is what this is all about. You freedom on your own terms, not according to what somebody else tells you what it should look like.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Catch
I'm
that
listening,
tea.
ladies.
Exactly.
So from wait a minute, I had the question here. Dun, 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 and now it is gone. What does it mean to live life unapologetically to you? Like something, whether it's like for the job or for what people, family, or friends think. What is something that you've just like been like, I'm doing this and I just don't care.
Right. I think so considering myself as an introvert, I feel like I also had sort of like people pleasing tendencies. Like because it's been difficult for me to form friendships or like relationships with people, it's like you kind of have like that sense that okay, I have to like give more because it took a lot for me to like have whoever this is in my life, right? So as I've gotten older, I've kind of learned to give more to myself and also accommodate myself more. So, having an understanding of today is not a great day for me to advocate for myself. So, keep it light, do things that I'm comfortable with, or just go where life is taking me right now and I'll figure it out. Right. So, maybe that also looks like spending more money than I budgeted because a mishap has happened. So, like for me, it would be like, if you go to an Airbnb and it's not what you expected and they don't have like a refundable deposit or whatever. Okay, I'm stressed out. I'm like about to have a panic attack. I'm going to drop some money. Right, on whatever this is to make myself feel better. So I'm going to like get myself out of a situation and tap into money that I didn't intend to spend, but I have on the back burner in case I get into a situation where like I'm uncomfortable and now um my ability to handle difficult things is really low. So I just need to get myself out of a situation very quickly to get myself to comfort, to get myself to safety. And that could be, comfort for me is a warm blanket, a cup of coffee, like knowing what I like, knowing what makes me feel good about myself. So then I can always revert back to it in times where like I'm feeling high stress or I may be anxious or I may be like feeling really introverted. I don't want to go outside, stuff like that. It's like adjusting to this day, this moment, and accommodating myself with what I know brings me joy.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. So, what is something like the most adventurous thing that you think you've done so far, as far as like experiences in another country? What is like maybe something that was like the most adventurous, and maybe something also that was the most simple but the most fun?
I've done a
Like
lot of
two
adventurous
parts.
stuff. I feel like I could probably take a break from being adventurous for a little bit. I don't know why. There's certain things I'm like, do I need to do this? Like, should I be doing this? Because I have a fear of heights. And know who said this. Someone said this. Maybe it was like Will Smith, but like the more you do something, the more you like overcome your fear. That has not happened yet. But I
Oh, me too.
continuously put myself in situations where I'm like faced with my fear of heights and like why am I here? Like my auntie told me I was gonna fall off a cliff and bust my head open, and here I am on the side of a cliff, about to bust my head open. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. Amen. But putting myself in situations like that where that are like considered adventurous. I'm not a thrill seeker,
So
but I
you
have
haven't
done
jumped
some
out of any
things.
airplanes or like,
No,
like,
but I've jumped off the side of a cliff into like a moving river,
oh, you
and
did do
I
it.
can't
Oh,
and I
I thought
can't
you just
swim.
said you looked.
No,
Okay.
no, no, and I can't swim. So you know,
Oh,
that
whoa.
that probably is not something that I want to do every year, but I did it, and I walked away and said that I did it. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. See, no, you better than me. Yeah. I, I can't even drive over the big overpasses in Texas. I can't even do that. Like on the freeway and stuff, I have to get off and take a feeder. So the idea,
No, I've driven like when I was in Albania, you have to drive kind of along the mountain and there's a curve and you kind of can't see your next turn. So like it's very dangerous at night. I've done that by myself. I've driven at night,
oh,
even though I don't like doing that on the mountainside. It's beautiful, but it is one of those moments where you are like, am I gonna die today? Is that gonna happen?
see,
It hasn't.
I mean, okay. Okay.
It
Wow.
hasn't.
Yes, people have asked me, they're like, so you're gonna drive, or you're gonna get a car? And I feel like it's so I think it was Krishan from Blacks the Global was talking about how she was gonna, because she's in Portugal, and how she was gonna be driving to somewhere in Spain at some point. This is sometime last year, I believe. And I was like, yeah, people have asked me, so you're not gonna, like, you can just drive over to Portugal instead of taking a train. That's not me. Because if I come up on some mountainside or some bridge or whatever, y'all gonna see me on the news, okay? The stupid American that's just sitting on the side of the road, because I'm not crossing that bridge. I just can't do it. And so I
Drive.
guess, huh?
I'm gonna drive. I've driven in Europe.
Oh, okay. I don't want to. I don't
You
want
don't have
to.
to. You don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's, some people have got, like, my daughter and her husband and stuff, they, we're live in Spain. They drive up to France like maybe once a year and stuff. And that's so cool. I'm like, but I don't want to find out unless I have to know what that map looks like. And if there's going to be any kind of bridge that's going to like have me put in some panic mode. And so I'm like, yeah, that's okay. Trains, planes, automobiles. Trains and planes and maybe a bus. That works for me. And so, but I mean, yeah, but like I can't imagine jumping off a cliff. I can't swim, and I'm definitely afraid of heights. That is so amazing. I've heard of, you've done it. I've known some other people that have done it. I I have no need. Okay.
Also have no need, but I
My
didn't know.
adventures. You said you didn't know.
I did not know that's what we were doing. So it
Oh,
was presented. This is why you need to ask questions. When you have friends who plan trips for you, you need to ask more questions. So they were just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go see a waterfall," and I'm like, "Okay, okay." I didn't realize that there was like a hike, like an uphill hike on a cliff to get to the waterfall, and that the plan was that we were jumping down, weren't walking back down to the base of the waterfall. But I did it. So
okay. That okay. So what about something that was really simple, but it was like, wow, this is really, really great. Like, whether it was just the food experience, meeting somebody, taking a class, taking a dance class. I don't know, something simple but fun.
Um, I took a cooking class, a pastry class when I was in Denmark, and I met my really good friend Alicia there. But that was pretty simple. I'm not somebody who has like culinary skills. And the pastry chef was like French and he was scary, but it was a lovely experience and we got an obscene amount of pastries. Like each person got a box with like 10 pastries
Oh
in it.
wow.
Too many, it was entirely too many pastries. But it was amazing just to see the dough and the giant slab of butter and like to get your hands dirty, and to make
I would do
something.
that. I would do that.
It's
That
nice.
sounds like that's something I would definitely get down with. And I've done a cooking class here in Zaragoza. Um, I've done a cooking class here when my daughters came to visit, and it was completely in Spanish. And, so my one daughter that does speak Spanish is like, they would say something, we just look at her like, what do they say? I mean, but you follow the instructions pretty easily, and it was a wonderful experience. The food, the dishes some were really good, and some were like, I'm like, this is crap. Okay, but that would be a great experience to go and have that type of, like, to make fresh pastries with like tons and
Delicious.
tons and tons of butter.
Oh yeah, delicious. When
Yes.
I was in Barcelona, I took a paella making class, and that was pretty nice. It was like a group class. It was in English, but they make like a gigantic paella. There's
Mhm.
maybe like 10 people there. And the most simplest thing, like, and this is what I love about Spain, just the bread, you put a little garlic on there, like you take a garlic, you rub it on there, take a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, maybe a tomato, and just have bread. It was like this is like a new concept.
Yep. Just scrubbing some tomato on some bread. It's like, what is this? It is so good. Okay.
Because everything's so fresh. Everything's so
Yeah.
I miss buying bread from the baker. Like coming back to the US and having to buy store-bought bread has been so beneath me. Like it really feels like I feel like this is poverty.
Jesus.
That's what it feels like. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm getting over it. You said we were supposed to do a live a couple of weeks ago and then you weren't feeling well. I just kind of got sick. My daughter gave me some kind of crud, but it's like it never like went full blown. So it's just been like an underlying, like I have the cough, I have like itchy throat, but it never, thank
Mm.
goodness, but also it's frustrating because it never really came all the way out as far as a full blown cold or flu or whatever. But
Also, it's just
I have
lingering.
to mute cough sometime. Okay.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's I don't I mean I've had experiences that I really love and I appreciate. I do want to like go do some more hiking or whatever, not in this weather, not in the winter weather, but I would like to go, to like some trails and things like that because I do like those kind of things. Depending. There was one time, this was a few years ago, I was in Austin and there's that, oh God, I forget the name of that the park and everything. You could like walk up the side of the mountain. They have like the river with all the boats and everything and stuff. It's a really nice area in Austin. Anyways, I was walking up the side of this where people go on Saturdays to go walking, and it was really nice, and I'm enjoying the view. And I got up so high, and that's when I was like, girl, you're scared of heights. You gotta go back. I I literally got way up high and then realized how high up I was and how there was like no fence or anything. And I'm like, oh my, and so now I'm like, my back is up against the wall on the cliff, like, okay. And I'm like scooting back down calmly yeah, I got looks. People are like, what is she doing? It's like, look, I was so enamored with the beauty that I forgot I was scared of heights until I remembered I'm scared of heights. And then I froze. Okay. So now I remind myself, regularly, remember you're scared of heights. Don't do that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you need those moments. Like, who do you think you are?
Yes.
Ooh.
Mm-mm. Just like whenever I decide that I'm going to get bold one day and drive over the bridge and stuff, and I'm like, no, girl, nope, don't. Because people have seen your reaction. My daughters have seen that worst side. When I accidentally get on like an overpass or a bridge, yeah, they've seen that side and it's not pretty. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, you better not pull over. Okay. I'm really telling all my business right
Okay.
now. Anyways,
We appreciate your vulnerability. Thank you.
what differences like do you feel like you've noticed in how you're treated abroad versus in America? And you know what, I'm going to let you answer that because it's like I have my own like view on that. But yeah, like what have you noticed that you found people in other cultures like they celebrate you in different ways or than maybe back home?
So, a new realization for me was when I'm abroad, I'm American first, not black, right? The
Mhm.
black is like secondary, maybe even tertiary to like my womanness. But it's like people don't care. I just love to go to places where people aren't watching me like I'm about to turn up or whatever. It's just like people leave you alone. People walk on by. People don't follow you. They don't hound you. You know, you go to
Yeah.
stores, nobody's like looking at you crazy. I remember I was in the UK and this, I think it's like they had like a self checkout and I paid for something and then threw my receipt away. But then like I didn't take the censor tag off of it. Which, by the way, don't throw your receipt away. Like I think no, no, I didn't throw it away. I think I put to email me, and then the email never came through. But anyways, so I didn't have my receipt, and then the censor was still on there, and the clerk was saying that I needed to have proof of purchase, and the transaction hadn't posted in my credit card account. So I was just like, listen, I paid for it. I'm not buying it again. And the guy was just like, okay, just go. We can check the cameras. And it's just like to not be pulled aside by a police officer, to not have to like have an uncomfortable conversation, like to just be left alone,
Yeah.
and also to not be afraid of police officers, like to actually go up to them if you have a problem or if you have a question, and to not be it's just scary. Like if I'm driving around here in Texas and I see the lights behind me, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like the panic that sets in where it's like, please pass me, just pass me. Because I don't want to have an uncomfortable interaction. You never know the kind of interaction you're going to have with a police officer here.
Yeah.
Whereas like in other countries, they've been kind, they smile at you, they're forthcoming with information. It's not intimidation. You they don't touch their weapons if they have. I don't even know if they have weapons. Like that's how freeing it is in other countries to not have to constantly be worried that people are going to bother you. It's just
And
nice.
the crazy thing is because I've seen it in Mexico, but I've seen it a lot in Madrid. Like they have like the federal whatever the government buildings or whatever, or maybe there's somebody really important in some office or whatever, and you see like the guys, the military, the government officials with the guns that they have them. Like they'll just be standing up there like ready. Doesn't even dawn on me like, oh, this is dangerous because it's like I know that they're not like about to like start shooting into a crowd or whatever stuff. They're just there guarding, and their stance is to actually have their guns. They have them like out like this. And this isn't everywhere, but in Madrid, I've seen that so many times and stuff. And it's just so like, and I'll just be walking by like, I wonder what's going on. That's it. It's nothing like, girl, you need to get out the way. This is dangerous. This can be really, really bad. There's times here, definitely, when they have their planned protests about different things. It is the
That's
most
another
like the
thing.
whole freaking tram line will, or subway or train line will be shut down because they are marching along in the middle of the street, so the trams have to completely shut down. It's okay.
Yeah, everything is organized. Like
Yeah,
everything is organized. It's not chaos. You can protest.
yeah, and not get shot, not get pepper sprayed, none
Yeah.
of that. Okay. It just
Yeah.
blew my mind. The first time I saw that happen where like it was like a Saturday and they yeah, whatever day it was, I can't remember. But anyways, and I had a guest come in that was visiting Zaragoza, and we sat down to eat because it was really early. So we had to go to some restaurant because in Spain stuff doesn't open, the restaurants don't open until like 8 or 9 o'clock. So, anyways, we found this one restaurant. It was on the main street, and I'm looking, and I'm all about walking, but her mobility was a little lax and stuff. So we saw that the tram line was shut down. And I was like, oh, I guess we'll have to walk back and everything. And I was like, cool, no problem. And that was the only concern because she was like, I can't walk all the way back over there. I'm like, oh, it's like, yeah, because there was a whole protest. It went on for a while along the entire tram line. Felt completely safe. It
Yeah. Yeah.
was just a good observation.
And
That's
and I
unfortunate.
also I also want to be clear in saying that I don't think there is an absence of race in any country. There's not like, I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, there are no racist people in Spain. Listen, all I'm saying is people leave you alone. Okay?
Yeah.
You're not walking around with a chip on your shoulder. You're not walking around expecting somebody to do something to you. You have the freedom to just be ignored. And this is obviously a very Black American experience. This is not what I would consider an African experience to be. So there is
Mhm.
privilege in that. Having an American accent, having a blue passport is a privilege, and you learn that when you leave the US that you have access to privileges that you don't have access to in your own country.
Yeah.
So
Very much so. I'm just going over here into the comments really fast here. Uh, let's see the. Like if Vagabond said, there are definitely countries that once it starts to turn cold, I literally don't know their names anymore. Talk to me in the summer.
You'd be like that. Are you a boycott summer? No, boycott winter person.
Yeah. Oh, you
Like you like
talking
it warm?
asking Janae?
You, not
Oh,
you,
me? Oh no.
because I know it's
I
cold
don't.
in Spain.
I mean, it's cold. I mean, it's been like getting into the 30s a little bit, but no, I don't go anywhere where it's like snow. No, I can't do that. That's not my mission. I mean, I'm already scarred from being in Texas. What was that in 2021?
Oh,
No.
the big freeze.
Oh, girl.
Yeah,
That was
I
yeah,
wasn't. I
yeah.
wasn't here, but yeah.
That was a rough experience just because I had my dog, so trying to walk the, and then when I lived in Dallas for a while also trying to walk a dog when you're not used to stepping outside on some snow and don't know where that ice where you're gonna slip and break your neck, it hits a different way. Okay. So I it's like I can't even imagine going up to like New York or Chicago or none of that area in winter months. No. Mm-mm. And so I was just totally offended when I lived in Dallas for a year and had to go outside. I was like, and to drive? Oh no. That's
I like a good
yeah,
snow
because
day.
yeah, I could just see myself just skidding right off. Nope. Okay. So
Not skidding. Please be safe.
well, I,
But
I
yeah.
have I have flashbacks. So years ago, oh God, I want to say somewhere in the 2007 when they had the NBA All-Star game up in Dallas. It was Party Central. So me and a friend drove up from Houston to Dallas. And I got off, I was driving and I got off we stopped at a store and for some reason I told her to go ahead and drive the rest of the way. And as soon as she got on the freeway, it started snowing. It wasn't it was just snowing, and it was like that part, it was already like it had already been snowing and I didn't know that. But anyways, and she was just like, oh, it's no big deal. So she's driving my car like she's driving in Florida, just like there was no snow, and I'm freaking out with pushing my foot on the pretend brakes on the passenger side. It was just I was scarred. I was like, where? And you see, and the thing was, I saw all these other cars that had already hit the rail that were already. She's just going. I was like, stop, pull over. Nope, look, I can't have you driving my car. I have to have some kind of control, and you're not allowing me to even make you slow down. Okay. So with that said, I don't want to be nowhere where there's snow. Okay, not on the regular. Mm-mm.
Even if you're not driving, like you don't like a winter wonderland, like a Christmas market situation.
I can appreciate. I mean, there's been, I think twice here, not since I've been here. There's been like real snow. Like when we had the freeze in Texas, actually in Zaragoza, Spain, they actually it snowed. Like Kayla, my daughter, and her husband. This is before my granddaughter was born. They were outside. There's pictures of them and stuff with like a real snowman. It snowed. And so I can appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate it. But if it's my duty that I have to constantly be in it, and you don't know if it's that dirty ice, and again, I actually invested in some cleats to put on my shoes because I had a dog that I was walking regularly. Yeah, all that. I nope, don't want to do it. Okay. I appreciate some nice cold weather. Don't need no snow where I might, slip and break a kneecap. I'm of a certain age now. I don't want to play. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So freedom on my own terms means I don't want to be in that. Okay. So,
Right.
so oh, okay. I'm trying not to cough, y'all, but it may or may not happen. I may not be able to put myself on mute fast enough. So, okay. How do you think that you encourage others? I mean, I know based on, we have our YouTube channels, we talk about it all the time. Do you have women that maybe you kind of guide personally to help them get out of their comfort zones, or you just lead by example?
Yeah, I'm the only one in my family who has a passport. Like, I think my aunt has one, but it's expired. And I've been telling literally since December, I've been on my sisters, like, we not playing this year. What's the passport? I'll pay for it. Make the appointment. Like, we're not playing games. I'm gonna have to keep chiding them. I have to keep chiding them. And I think like nobody in my family really has the they're just not interested in traveling. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know why. It's like they see all the places that I've been. They watch my channel, but it's almost like a slow process for them to come to terms with like actually being abroad, living abroad, going abroad. So I don't know. Pray for them. Pray for them. I don't know what's
And
gonna happen.
and also in respect to not everyone has, and I don't know what your situation with your family is and stuff, but also understanding that, some people do still have the jobs that and can't get out of the idea of that you have to go into work and work for a US company that provides the benefits that you need to survive. So
Mm,
until some people, I mean, I understand going on vacation or going on a cruise, that's one thing, but to actually go someplace long term or to possibly bop around, that idea of no, I have to go to my 9 to 5 job that pays me to what I consider, quite frankly, barely survive in the USA. I don't care how much money you're making. Okay.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I just want them to go somewhere. I've been trying to get my sister to go with me to Mexico. I'm like, look, we'll do a quick run to a little weekend in Mexico City, you know. Just come on. Just gotta I don't know. I don't know what needs to happen. I'm gonna have to like pick her up one day and just go ride by the place and get her a passport. Like I'm gonna have to just do everything myself. Make the appointment, say, okay, girl, we're gonna go get something to eat, and then just go get her a passport.
I have a family member in North Carolina like that. Literally, I'm just like, you need to come on here, come on, stuff. And she doesn't like, she really doesn't like flying. I have finally started to get over my fear of flying because that's, clearly. But I actually said, well, here's the website. I can actually do this for you. And she kind of let me know. It's like, I got it. I'll do it. Like, quit pressuring me. Okay. So I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, I'll shut up. I'll shut up. And the easiest place to go would be Mexico, but that is the one place of all the places that I've been, coming over here to Spain a couple of times, Portugal, Rabat, all that. When I said I was going to Mexico for the 2 months to pet sit, people were like, "You're going to Mexico? You
yeah,
heard about that?" And I'm like, did you hear just over the weekend about the killing or whatever that happened or the shooting that happened here in the States or in Texas? Which side of Texas or which side of Houston were you on when you heard about such and such getting shot? It's like, I'm not saying that there's not violence in other parts of the world. That's not what I'm saying. But it was just so amazing to me that there seemed to be a lot more concern when I was like, I'm going to Mexico for a couple of months. They're like, girl, it's Mexico. I'm like,
right.
okay, well, I'm following the lead of some people, some black women that are already there or going there or have already made their tour. So I'm gonna trust what they're doing versus what you say, whoever they is. You know what they say. Who the hell is they?
Yeah. Well, and I tell my sisters, I'm like, I know people who live in Mexico. Like, I'm not basing it off of like what some girl on TikTok says and hoping for the best. Like,
Yes.
but I think like it's easier for me to reach people on my YouTube channel, but the personal people in my life, you just have to plant the seeds and let them grow on their
Mhm.
own. Like do you,
I'm
boo
sorry, look
boo.
at that. She said they ain't never been there either.
Period. D.
It's true. I am so sick. Whenever I hear somebody say, girl, they said, da, 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 it's like, are they official? Are they official? Is it they.gov? What are you talking about? Okay. It's usually the people that are still like just so still living in the fear of your. They're living in the fear that they feel like should outweigh your need to discover. I'm like, no, I can't live in your fear with you. I have to go. I got to go.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair too, like there's been a concerted effort to keep people in the US afraid, right?
Hmm.
Of the unknown, of, the dangers of living in a foreign country, because then by comparison, the US looks really safe. But when you really take into account the experiences of Black Americans and other people of color, whether they want to admit it or not, in this country, it's
Yeah.
worse than if you go overseas. I guarantee you, you're probably not living in the best conditions that you could be living in. And
Yes.
why wouldn't you just approach it with curiosity, right? To say like, well, I'm just interested to see if there's another way of life, another way of living. And I want to go pursue that myself instead of relying on what other people say or what the government says or what the media says, whatever. I want to go see for myself.
Yeah.
Mm.
So and it's just so it's yeah, it's so great whenever like I have my sister-in-law come over like back in October, and she doesn't want to move here, but she got to experience this, and it was just such a great thing that I was able to share my experience and what I've been doing with her. She knows she can come back whenever she wants to. But it was there's that feeling of like, see, here's what it is right here. This beauty right here. I just appreciate that freedom, the freedom of thought, the freedom of like my mental happiness, mental well-being. It's just a little bit lighter, a little bit easier outside of the US. And you don't know.
Yeah.
The thing was, I didn't know until I came back the first time from visiting Spain, the first time when I came back. And I was like, I don't like this pressure as the plane was landing. The pressure, the stress that started just creeping
Right
up.
here.
I was like, what is this? I don't like this feeling. Okay. And I was like, oh, you done touched down back in the US. That's what that is. Okay. Geraldine says, America is full of so much anti-blackness. It's hard to explain the sense of freedom you feel when you are not in America. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
true. It's like I was supposed to be trying to come back to the States for a couple of weeks this summer, and I had family and friends like, you coming back? I was like, I don't think so. I don't really think so. Okay. Sure how I feel about that now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to be going back to get my dog. I was like, I was talking to my sister who has my dog, and I told her, I said, there's services that can get my dog over here as long as I can afford, and I have an apartment here that will accept, because right now where I'm at this apartment, she's like, no, you can't have a dog, and so I have to wait until my lease is up, find another apartment that does accept the dog and stuff, and then I will kick out the money to actually pay for a service to bring my dog over here. But I'm just like, I just told my sister, I'm like, I don't think I really want to come back. Because at first I was like, just for 2 weeks. And I was like, no, not even that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Because I was like, I'll do two
Good.
weeks in the States and then I'll go to Mexico for a couple of months. I was like, no, how do we just go ahead and bypass the United States and just go ahead and go straight to Mexico for a couple of months?
But you're fortunate in that your daughters will travel to see you, right? Like you have
Mhm.
family that's willing to come to Spain or meet you in another
Yeah.
country. So that's very fortunate. I'm trying to work on my people, work on my team. I need them to get it together.
Yeah, I have one of my aunts I'm still trying to get. Yeah, I have my sister. Well, I have two sisters in North Carolina. So one did come back in 2023 with me. But yeah, I have family there. I'm trying to get them. I have an aunt back in Texas, and I'm like, just come on over. Just come over. If if you just come, it's like you got a place to stay. You're good. But I'm very thankful for the family and friends that have come already, and then the ones that are coming, throughout this year. I'm very thankful for that experience. So, so you were younger when you first started. How old were you when you first started your first international?
I was only like 29. Like I had never been abroad before
Oh, before 29. Why did I think it was longer than that?
because I look so
Okay.
youthful.
Okay. Yes, yes, you do. Yes. Okay. So it's like the question is always like, I guess, what would you tell your younger self, or well, what do you tell your younger, like if you have younger family, like nieces or whatever, what would you tell them about starting the journey? Even though there's people that might be in the ear telling them no.
If I had like I'm thinking like if I had like younger cousins, I would
Mhm.
say do it through school. I feel like that's the most straightforward way. Like if you're in your early 20s or if you're like a teenager, just do like a study abroad program. Like my university had so many of them and I thought that like well we couldn't afford it. I thought we couldn't afford it, but in hindsight now I know that there's like scholarships I probably could have applied for. It probably wouldn't have cost as much as I thought it did, but going and having those conversations with like counselors I always felt afraid to do, really like coming up with a plan to get abroad. If I had known how easy it was to just go through my school, I probably would have just done that, you know? I think also because I've had mothers ask me, like, my daughter wants to travel. I'm terrified. I don't want her to go. She's trying to go by herself. You as a parent you should be worried about your kid going to school in America.
Mhm.
Your kid is more likely something bad is more likely to happen to them in your state than it is abroad. Just based off of like shootings, the amount of school
Yeah, and it's
shootings that
become
we
so
have.
normalized. It has become
It's so
so
normalized.
normalized. Like, yeah,
It's so normal
but it's
and
crazy
you
for
know,
your child to want to go out of state or out of the country.
and even especially if they're like in a controlled environment, so like if they're doing like a homestay, or if they're like I said studying through their school, or if it's a group trip or something like that, it's like just let them go, let them experience another part of the world, and consider going with them, right? Like if you're really concerned about safety, why don't you go along? It's not crazy. I know not that we should do things just because white people do them, but I know there are white people who like one of my old coworker, her daughter wanted to go to France to see Taylor Swift. Her daughter had never been abroad before. She's like 16, right? So her mom booked like a weekend, 3-day trip to go with her to France. I think more black people need to start doing stuff like that just because
Yeah,
like it gives kids exposure, and in the world we live in today they definitely need to have that awareness that the US is not the only option. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Wait, did I answer the I don't know if I answered the question. I guess if I was talking to
yes,
my younger self, I would also say like you are capable of doing things that you don't even know that you have the ability to do yet. Stop giving yourself fear that does not come from you. Stop telling yourself you can't do things. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, because and I think back, and I think yeah, we all, especially Black women, have been definitely told about what we should not want to do, what what our goals should be, and thank goodness we're stepping out more and more. Even in in 2025, we're stepping out of that, setting limited expectations on what you can achieve. That is so profound. And it goes across the board again, from young women all the way up to women that are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. There's communities out there of women that are like, what is that, the co-living thing, where they're setting up where if you want to move to another country and you're scared because you're by yourself or whatever, they have like these whole communities of women of a certain age that are like, we are working on building co-living communities where there might be like a house with, and I'm just throwing out, I don't have all the information, where they might have like, a 5 or 6 bedroom home that they all live in community, rent out the rooms or rent out the space and everything to live as one big community and have that support. Where they also have like I think one's working like with a clinic or a physician that actually does like the health and well-being checkups on them and everything, and they have like all the resources that they would need, but they're not alone.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, there's community no matter where you are.
Yes, and I think more people need to stop coming from a place of I can't. Because when you think about why you can't do something, oh, I'm sure you have a list, right? I'm sure you have a list of reasons why you can't do something. But if you just approach a subject with curiosity, you'll be surprised what you may learn, what resources just fall into your lap, what money moves, how doors open up. If you just approach life with curiosity, question things, say like, well, what if I do it? How can I make this work for me? Is it really this expensive? And you start doing your research. You start really saving your money. What could happen? What life could you be living?
It's so, and I'm seeing so many like YouTube channels and so many like black people, period, especially black women, that they're like, okay, so I'm here, so I'm gonna let you know what it's been like for me. Not saying that you have to go. That you make decisions solely based on what you see on YouTube, but at least it's a starting point for you to start getting some information as to the reasons why you should. Okay, maybe
Yes.
maybe some, maybe you have like three different places that that you're considering. Start doing the research, see what some people are saying, then find the communities, the Facebook communities or whatever. Yeah, usually it's a Facebook community that you can find to get even more insight and get more support. It's amazing because the bottom line is you can straight talk yourself out of anything.
Anything, like
You can straight talk yourself out.
anything.
Yes. But there is a community, there's communities around the world of, and I'm speaking right now just of black women that are proving that talking yourself out of something is completely not necessary, and that they have that can-do mentality, that they were like, we're gonna figure this out, and they've made the
They're
move.
and they're laying the groundwork for you too, right? Like you don't have to go it alone and just figure it out as you go because it's kind of like what you said with your sister-in-law. You got a place in Zaragoza, so she can come and stay. When you got to Zaragoza, well, you had a daughter there, but theoretically, when you got to Zaragoza, you didn't just have a place that you would have to look for your own accommodation. You had to look into, but it's like people are laying the foundation, and you just have to step into it. There are
Yes,
communities, like you said. There are resources online. So many people are talking about their experiences abroad. I invite Black women on my channel all the time to talk about their experiences abroad. So, if you really want to do something, just start from a place of I can, and you see what comes up, you know?
dream big, dream big. Yeah, don't,
Yeah.
whatever that mindset that has maybe told you like, hey girl, no, that's too much, you're doing too much. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah, you're not
Okay.
doing enough. You're not doing enough. Okay.
It's freedom
Do
on your
more.
own terms. Yes, you find that journey, and I always say your journey may not look exactly the same, but the foundation is being laid out here so that it's going to take that you can get to where you want to go. My thing is that yeah, when I got here, yes, I had the support of my daughter, so I had a place to stay until my apartment was ready. But now I have a two-bedroom, and I've had like three, like, well, two women come in for soft landings before they actually go in to go get their own place here in Zaragoza. And then I've had a couple of women that have come through that just were like traveling and they needed a place to stay. That is not so. Just let me be clear. Don't show up and be like, "Yeah, let me in your house." That's not happening. Okay, I have criteria,
But it's
but
it's community, right?
yeah,
Because it's like
yes,
people will go to Zaragoza, and they're like, I know Yolanda's here. And then maybe she'll meet me for coffee. Maybe she'll introduce me to the city. And it's like
yes.
you
That's how I met the Travis
connecting
Skinner.
by connecting with other Black women, like that's how you can kind of like orient yourself in a place. Not just Black people, but as you build community, right? Like you can orient yourself in a place to where it doesn't have to be scary, and you don't have to like you're not alone. I think there's like
Exactly.
conditioning in the US about like individualism and like exceptionalism. You're not alone. That's a scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. Can I say bullshit? Well, you are not alone. It's a
Yeah.
lie.
Oh,
There
girl, I
are
curse
so
like a
many
sailor.
people who but there are so many people just willing, waiting to help you. You just have to like go out there and find the resources and find, help yourself a little bit, but reach out to
Yeah.
people too. You know,
And it doesn't have to
subscribe to
be,
Locating Cozy.
hello, Black in Zaragoza Facebook group. Yes, go there. Yes. But the
Right.
link is in the description. But, and also, again, yes, as a Black woman, I'm talking about supporting Black women, of course. But make no mistake, I get down with the locals here. I hang out with the locals. I find different groups, and there's groups and things like that, or the Internations group. I am meeting different people here all around. My lady at the grocery store gave me a hug for the New Year. So she saw me walk in, and she was like, and I'm not going to say, because I'm going to say it all wrong and stuff. And she told me how to say Happy New Year in Spanish. But it was just the community that I feel here is wonderful. And so I don't want anybody to just be like, well, she only talks to the Black people. No, girl, there's not enough Black people here in the first place. But okay,
Well, if
build
you come on
community.
my channel, I only talk to Black people. So
Mhm.
just to let everybody know. But
Yeah, I mean, when I'm locating cozy here, this is I'm only talking to Black people. I'm only talking about my experience, and I'm talking to Black women. That's how I roll. Besides, when my attorney comes on next month, I'm interviewing my attorney again next month. Just FYI, okay. He's the only one. He's the only man that's been allowed on my channel, and the only non-Black person that's been allowed on my channel.
so like I've been getting people have been reaching out to me. This might be an offline question. Been reaching out to me. The men folk have been reaching out to me to be on my channel. What you think about that? Should I open my space up to they're travelers? No.
I like to. You know what? I'll say that I'm always evolving. So I'll never say never, because it's locating cozy is like I I don't know. Um, right now, my focus, like for this quarter, my focus is Black women in Spain, Black women in Japan, Black women. That's what my goal is. But never say never, because again, I'm always evolving. So it might just be that I meet somebody that's super dope, or I hear they seem very inspirational in what they're talking about, and and I might be like, you know what, yes, I would like for you to talk more and expound more and everything, as long as they're not doing what they call the mansplaining and all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, if there's a
Well,
good
I could
positive
always
vibe, then
mute
I'm
them. I could
hmm?
always mute them. I could always mute them and take them off the screen. So you're right.
That's one of those where I definitely have to do the pre-check-in first, and like, let's have a little conversation. Let me really see what you about, not just what I see on your YouTube channel. I want to really have a conversation with you first, like a week before, to see if I really
Okay.
want you on my yeah and stuff.
That's
So
a good
yeah.
idea. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll
So,
see.
and I've done that before with some other young ladies that I've interviewed, because if I don't really know them, I do like to like have a conversation with them first, just to make sure I'm getting that we have a good vibe, because I don't want to come on
Mm.
live and be like, oh hell no. Okay.
But I've had people do that like on my channel. Like they'll say something and I'm like,
Like like her words do
do
not
I pull her?
represent yeah.
Do I pull her? Pull her down? I don't know. But I get what you're saying. Like the vibes have to be correct.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So right now, this is what the season that I'm in right now is I'm talking to Black women. That season might change come the summer months, because in all honesty, the curated experience that I'm setting up for June for the Zaragoza, that's not just Black women. That's like, that's for the curated experience for those that are really truly interested in having an experience. So it might be, of course, my base would love for that to be Black women, but there's family, there's lovers, there's very important people in their lives that may not fit that criteria. So no, I want to open up and expand that. So yes, so we'll see
Okay.
what the season brings. Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Okay, so well, you know what? I can go on. We can go on forever. Okay. And I hope that this information has definitely, and this conversation has definitely brought some light into doing things on your own terms and allowing yourself, and knowing that you deserve the freedom to make your own decisions about how you want to live your life. Do you have anything else you want to put out there, Miss Keyoka? Thank you so much, by the way.
Join my book club, everybody. Link in the description. Maybe the chat if I can find it. And
Okay, because I'm like, yeah,
if
where's the
you
private chat at?
is there?
Oh, here it
Oh,
is.
hold on.
Did you put it in
Let
there? Oh,
me
you
find
didn't put
it.
it in there.
No, I didn't even listen. I
Okay.
can only do one thing at a time. Um, so
Pat your
I will
stomach,
get that
pat your head and rub your tummy.
exactly. Listen, okay. And I've had most of my wine. So stay black. If you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Find me on all social media platforms as the Awkward Black Nomad, except TikTok, because we are in an oppressive environment in the US and I am not re-downloading that app onto my phone. So yeah, I don't know. Subscribe to my newsletter. I have a newsletter, you guys. That's all I got.
And if it's not already in the description, I will be putting it in there. So yeah, make no mistake about that stuff. And how many, okay, so how often, I got a question for you. How often do you go live? Because I be thinking I'd be seeing you like 2 times a week.
Listen, too many times. Too many times. I don't do it intentionally. Um, it's just like I have my magic list of people who I want to chat with, and then I send them a calendar invite. So then sometimes at max, I'll go live 3 times a week. Not every 2 hours, D. That is a fallacy. That is not true. And some months, y'all, I'm gonna go into hiding. Let me tell y'all, the week after next, the week after next, I'm going into hiding. I've introverted too close to the sun, so y'all will not be seeing me for a little bit. Okay, December, crazy. January, crazy. So going back into hibernation for February. Um, but yeah, I try to schedule them
Okay.
out. I try to stagger them, but
Well,
mm,
because I was doing, because I was going, well, I go live on Wednesdays at noon CST, and then I decided to start doing the Sundays, at 5 p.m. CST. And I was like, okay, you're going to stop doing the lives on Wednesday. But then when I send out the calendar, like to invite people and stuff, that like Wednesday works good. I'm like, yeah, it sure does. Yeah, let's do it.
so it just happened. I used to go live every Friday. I might bring it back. But it just became too much. Like when I started interviewing more people, I get drained. I don't want to talk so much. So we'll see what happens in the new year.
I'm
Hmm.
still like saying that I'm going to pivot eventually. Like I'm going to do like maybe the live on Wednesdays, excuse me, on Sundays, but just do a like a record and upload the pre-recorded, and you can have that go live, and then I can just be in the chat and just talking to people and giving my feedback while my
Yeah,
live pre-record is going on.
yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do
Yeah,
it.
that's how I need to do it. That's not how I've been doing it. Okay. Because I
If
feel
I
like I
s-
need to like be able to like answer questions and bring the statements up or whatever like during the live. And I was like, girl, it's okay. Because the bulk of my, I appreciate, people that do take the time to come in and check me out when I am, rambling on live. Okay. But so I do appreciate that. But then I'm like, well, most people don't even, the bulk of people that are watching my stuff, it's like they're watching it after the recording is done anyway and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know, I feel that connection when I'm doing live right now. And y'all
I
catch
do
like
feel
all
like
the
it's a way to build connection with the audience, like going live and interacting with people in real time. Um, but I also think like it depends on your bandwidth, right? So like if you're feeling like too stressed out or overwhelmed doing it twice a week, like just cut down to one. And like you said,
yeah,
schedule a pre-recorded video. So people
yeah. I'm a
stay
little
engaged with
addicted
the
also.
content,
Yeah.
not addicted.
Yeah. A little bit. I'm like, I got to. They need me. No, they don't. They're fine. I'll watch this stuff later.
They'll watch it anyway. That's what I found out. They watch it anyway. Like, there's
Yeah.
some pre-recorded videos I had no idea were gonna like do well, but people watch them. They may not watch all of it, but they'll watch them.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Okay, well, we're about to go. Please do make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that thumbs up for this vlog here, for this live, and leave your comments. If you're watching the replay, please do say something really cool and amazing, like what you thought was so great about this whole interview. Appreciate you much. Okay.
Bye.
So, bye, ladies. I'll talk to y'all later. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. See, I need to fix my outro.
Just keep doing this.
Okay, I don't know how to do this.